Well, good morning everybody. This is day 3 of the Trent 3-day festival. That's Adrian Whittle. I didn't know Adrian Whittle had drawn there. I'm at the bottom end of the Newark Dyke, so this is permanent peg 52. We've rotated through sections throughout this 3-day. So the first day we was up at Rolleston, yesterday was Sheldon's and East Stoke. Today is all the way down Newark Dyke, so you know where we are. The river here is flowing left to right, and just so you know where we are, this is permanent peg 52. The power station is way upstream. The peg opposite the power station is peg 1. This is peg 52, so you know where we are. We're on an inside bend here, and what I didn't expect is how shallow it is in the edge. Let me just show you the swim. There we go, peg 52. They've got these fantastic, brilliant big stones here, make it super comfortable to fish, which is great. It's not very wide here, it looks absolutely beautiful, overhanging trees. However, just look how shallow it is in front of this rock. That is literally, what, 5-6 inches deep, if that. So I'm gonna have to get in the water just so I've got some water in my nets and everything. But it's on the inside of a bend, so we've got some weed here. The flow is going across. There's a tiny bit of weed on the inside here, but that's not going to interfere with me. So range wise here, it looks as though it's about 20, I'm going to say 25 meters wide up to that gap there. But there are some chub here, I've been told, along this stretch, so I will be casting across there for the first time in this festival. I haven't done that at all in this competition so far, but obviously I've got to cover that option today. But yeah, it looks really nice. So I'm going to get some gear out, get set up, and then I'll talk you through the approach and everything once I'm already settled down at the peg. Well, that didn't take me too long to get set up. I'm all ready now. There's about 50 minutes left to the start, so I've just got my maggots coming round down there because they've been bagged up. I am going to be starting on a maggot feeder across to that other bank, so obviously I want my maggots to be riddling, so they're going to empty out the feeder. I've gone down at a 3-rod setup. I'll just quickly show you. This it is shallow here. It's like sand, so it is quite firm. There's a little bit of sinking gone on there at that side, but it is quite firm, so it should be all right. I'm on the platform. I'm on the platform for a couple of reasons. One is it just kind of sits me a little bit higher up off the water. There is marginal weed and stuff here, and if you can get a little bit higher, then it might help. If I hook any good fish, it certainly won't do any harm. And the other reason as well is when you're on the platform, it allows you to have your keep nets a little bit higher. All right. If I am going to catch any chub today, chub are known for jumping out of nets. Okay. Obviously, you can put your landing net over the top of it and things like that, or put a bungee strap round it, like we used 2 years ago. But obviously, having the nets that little bit higher, just obviously takes it off your mind a little bit. Okay, so I've got 3 rods set up. I've got 2 of the Horizon Pro distances set up, 12 foot. I've got 1 clipped up in that gap across there, just in front of that tree, just upstream of that overhanging tree. I haven't gone mega tight, all right, because obviously I'm going to have a hook length on as well, and I can start there, and obviously I can work my way across if I do want to go tighter across as the match progresses. So I've started just that little bit off it, plus really tight over. There isn't much flow. I know obviously there's more cover, but obviously I've got the option to go tighter across if I need to. So that is my chub line, if you want to call it that. I've also got another rod clipped up on that spot, and that is on an XD rod, and that is because that's got 10-pound line on it. That is like a really heavy. It's the rig I've been using, or the setup I've been using for barbel this weekend. So that is there if I need it. Obviously, if I've got to go chasing a barbel or chasing bigger chub, or if I have trouble with snags and stuff, that 10-pound main line should give me a better chance of landing any fish. So that is there as an option. And then the other one is, again, it's a 12-foot Horizon Pro, 90 gram, and that is clipped up at 18 meters, and that is just off the front edge of that overhanging tree, probably 4-5 meters downstream. And that is obviously my catch anything sort of a line. That's where I'm just going to fish for bites. Got some ground bait. I've got the F1 and Match Method Dark 50-50 combination again, which is what I've been using all weekend. And on that, I'm going to be feeding a bit of chopped worm, might have some pinkies, maggots, just fishing for bites. And it is quite deep there as well, so I do fancy that for a few bites. And that is really it, just 2 lines. I'm not going to put a really short line in. If there was any weed here, I might put a really short line in for catching any sort of perch or anything, but I'm not in contention for the festival. You know, I was second in my section yesterday, which was great, but obviously after the disappointment of day one, it put me out of contention for the actual overall festival. So I'm just going to fish those two lines and focus on them. Well, it's a while since I had this jacket on. Looks like the bank holiday sunshine's finished now. It is bank holiday Monday and it's raining. I think it's going to be on and off today, so it shouldn't affect the fishing. I'm going to start across underneath that other bank with a maggot feeder, try and catch an early chub or chublets, and I'm not going to feed that other line initially because I just want that first cast to be undisturbed. I don't want to feed anywhere else in the peg. I'll have a couple of casts across there, and if I don't get anything or any signs, then that's when I'll feed that 18 metre line slightly downstream with a bit of ground bait and a bit of chop worm and just maybe a few casters just to kick start it, and then just feel my way into it and fish it with small baits and just see if we can catch anything. I'm going to kick off with 3 maggots on the hook, just see if there's any greedy chublets there. Good luck, lads. That rattled straight away. What if I've got a little fish? No. Plenty of boats already. Well, that explains it. Not the bonus chub I intended catching, but it is a chub. So a few more casts on this, see if we can get a bonus fish. Then if not, I'm going to set up that shorter line. A couple of little chublets on that and a perch, but no signs of a bonus fish, so I'm going to set up that short line. Definitely can't leave it in there long. Just too many boats today. Well, there is at the moment. Small fish, but we'll have one more cast across there. If I don't get a bonus or anything, I'm going to have a look on that 18 metre line. You've got to pick your casts in between boats as well. Check left and right before you cast in. No, that's it. We'll have a look on that shorter line. First cast on that short line. Little roach. Just going to stick on that line now and just see what there is, see how it develops over this next half hour or so. Well, I hope this boat traffic's going to slow down. It's a bit relentless at the moment. I don't know if it's going to affect this line or not. This 18-metre line is pretty much where every boat, nearly every boat, is going over. That's 2 roach in the first 2 casts. And hopefully the traffic will slow down. Came off that one, but there are obviously some small fish there. This is a 28 gram feeder, and to be honest, it's a bit too heavy. I think I could get away with one lighter. There's so little flow on the river, so I'm just going to step it down to a lighter feeder. And it's only small as well, obviously, because I'm casting so frequently. I don't want to keep piling too much bait in. Not at the moment, anyway. Just fishing for bites. Putting 2 or 3 casters in as well as some chopworm, just while I feel his way into it. We've got a downstream wind as well, which is contributing to that bow. I've actually just gone the other way. I started missing a few bites on that 20 gram feeder, which is ideal for holding bottom, getting me out there. But because I'm fishing like a bolt rig, as you can see, the 30 gram feeder is definitely better for that. This feeder's making a bit more noise, but it's definitely better for hooking fish. Or it's better for fish hooking themselves, should I say. Chunky perch, definitely heavier than them little days. We're just approaching the halfway stage now, and it's difficult to see where the weight's going to come from, to be honest. I haven't got a clue what's been caught. Lad above me, I've seen him, he has netted a fish. I couldn't quite tell what it was. It's not a bream, so it could be a perch or a roach or a little barbel or a chub or something, I don't know. And then he's had a few small fish. Other than that, I can't see anybody. So we're just coming up to the halfway stage. That far line, I can't get anything over there now, no chublets, nothing. So I think the only place where I'm going to get any fish from, or any sort of number of fish or bites, is going to be that 18 metre line over towards that overhanging tree. So that's where I'm going to focus. Just initially see if we can get some bites, get some fish back there again, and if they are small fish, and obviously try and catch them. But if not, just go for, you know, try and catch a better quality of fish with chunky bits of worm or 2 or 3 maggots. Or I'm just going to experiment with that now, because I'm definitely not going to get the numbers of fish now that I need. So I'm going to obviously go for try and get a better quality. What I've done is I've stepped up now, stepped up to a 14. I'm just going to fish with slightly bigger baits now. I'm just going to try Just an MXB2 I've got on there, size 14 with a piece of worm on, just to see if, you know, there are any better fish there. I'm certainly not going to get the numbers of those small fish that I need. Well, that's a better stamp. Not huge, but bigger. Snag me up. Well, that was a better fish. Snagged me up on something. No sign of weed or anything. So I'll stick with this a little bit longer because that was obviously a better fish. I don't know what it was. Let's hope there's more of them. A bonus. Not a huge fish. It might indicate there are one or two skimmers down there, or bream even. I just sat and waited a bit longer that time. Just on double maggot. I haven't put any maggots in. Maybe I'll just slow it down a little bit before I come off this line. Just putting chopworm and casters through. Not getting very many bites now, especially with a shorter hook then, but that might indicate that I can sit with the bait on properly with this short hook length, and hopefully we might find one or two better net fish. Well, I've just gone back across now. That skimmer was just kind of on its own, and then bites have just dried up completely on that 18 metre line. It's feeling very strange at the minute. I can't really feel where a weight of fish is going to come from, so I'm just going back across now, just to see if there's any little chublets or a bonus chub over there. Beautiful roach, that one. There's two of those that I've had now, just out of the blue. They're a better stamp. If they kept coming, that'd be great. Getting a few bites now. I've just scaled back down again. Got a size 16 hook on at the moment. I'm getting a few bites. Like I say, I haven't heard anything about how it's fishing, and this is the only line I can get any bites on, so I'm just going to stick with it. Still missing the odd bite, but that wind keeps coming and going. When it's blowing downstream, this 20 gram feed is not quite as good. I could do with a 30 gram on, but when there's no wind, the 20 is best. So I'm having to keep changing. See, that was on the drop then. You look at the size of these fish. I wonder why you're missing bites. that actually took the, as the feeder was falling down, falling through the water. So you're always going to miss a few bites when there's fish of that size around. Lovely roach. They just won't keep coming and just can't pin them down for some reason. I'm just going to keep plodding on, that's all I can do. And keep trying a bigger bait on, just see if I can pick out a better fish. I've got a feeling those fish will have been getting caught all day on the pole and float tactics. So I've definitely got some catching up to do. Great if they kept coming. Not huge fish, but they're definitely a better stamp. And the boats are still coming. We've got an hour left. I'm not going to change. I still haven't heard anything about any other, you know, what's been caught. I'm just going to keep going on this line and catch whatever I can. Beautiful fish, they keep coming. Brilliant stamp, hooks come out in the net. Skimmer. Single caster again. Hi! No idea how I've done. I've got a funny feeling that the lad at next peg, the way that he's fished, certainly for that last 2 hours, he's fished for bigger fish. So whether he's done that because he's had to do it, or whether he's done it because they've caught bigger fish to his left, and so you know, they've caught as well. I've got a feeling that might be the case, but you know, I don't really know what the potential was for bigger fish like chub and that on these pegs here, because I don't know them. So I've had 2 or 3 sessions across, not really produced anything, just the odd small chublet. So the vast majority of the weight that I've got has come on that 18 metre line. Caster turned out to be best, certainly in that last. My best hour has been between 2 and 3 o'clock. That 4th hour, that was by far the best hour. And then that last hour has not really got going. It's gone a bit iffy. So. But you know, I've had plenty of bites, I've got plenty of fish. I don't think there's much weight there, but like I say, other than the lad next to me, I can't see anyone else, so I've no idea what's been caught. So I'm obviously hoping that there hasn't been too much caught, but it will be interesting to hear what's been caught. But no, I've enjoyed it. The rain stayed off, which is good. I've had plenty of bites, I've had a day's fishing. So I'm going to get the gear packed away and wait for the scales to come down. £11.2 mixed bag. Busy days fishing. Well, I can't believe it, but that weight has actually won the whole 10 peg section. It's won the whole section here. So that would have put me on 1 point, or it's put me on 1 point for the festival, which I'm obviously really pleased with, especially the decision I made just to fish for fish, and that's been the right thing to do. It's a bit of a bittersweet thing because I won my section today. Yesterday I was second, so that was just 3 points in 2 days. Had events not panned out like they did on day 1 of this festival, things could have been very, very different, you know, because that's 3 points in over 2 days. So it'll be interesting to see what the winner of this festival is going to have points wise, but obviously that's, you know, that's all down to what happened on day 1, unfortunately. So best thing for me personally is that whilst there's a lot of people float fishing on the river, in these conditions when it's low, it's clear, it does suit float fishing. However, I think once again it's shown that with a bit more of a refined approach on a feeder, you can catch and compete on the feeder, and I think that's important for people to kind of know about, certainly people who are wanting to come and fish venues like this. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this bit of an insight. I will put the full results up next for you to show you who's won the festival and everything, but I've enjoyed it. Obviously, you know, there's the overshadow of what happened on day 1, but day 2 and day 3 today, as I've really enjoyed it. Caught loads of fish, had plenty of bites, and to be quite honest, my own personal opinion is, not that I'm an expert in any way, is that because there are so many small fish in the river, you would normally say that that's a great sign for the future of the river. You know, I think that can only be a good sign. So yeah, it's been good. It's been a tiring 3 days, but I'm going to head up to the headquarters now, go and see the payout.